According to recent reports, the average household debt in America has climbed to approximately $105,000. The average mortgage is around $252,000, student loan $35,000, car loan $24,000, personal loan $19,000, and credit card debt is around $6,700. Now, whether your debt is above or below these averages, the real problem is that it doesn't just drain your bank account, it also takes a serious toll on your mental, emotional, and physical health. According to AIMS Public Health, people with debt are 3 times more likely to struggle with depression, anxiety, and stress. Another study by Royal College of Psychiatrists found that half of all adults with debt problems also struggle with mental health issues. For example, this post was shared by a 27-year-old guy who says that he's drowning in debt, with no car, no home, and $73,000 owed across personal loans, student debt, and credit cards, with interest rates as high as 30%. He says that he's always depressed, anxious, and embarrassed of himself. Now, this story isn't unique. Debt can deeply erode self-esteem, create feelings of helplessness, and lead to social withdrawal and isolation. In fact, over-indebted individuals often report lower life satisfaction, emotional well-being, and strained relationships. According to Bankrate's 2024 Financial Infidelity Survey, 42% of Americans have kept a money-related secret from their romantic partner. 30% reported spending more than their partner would like, and 23% secretly racked up debt. These hidden financial behaviors can create trust issues in relationships, sometimes even leading to separation and divorce. Now, beyond these broken relationships and emotional pain, the weight of debt can push individuals to a very dark place where they feel like there's no way out. So if you're in debt, you don't just pay interest, you also pay with your physical and mental health, and many a times with your relationships. That's why paying off your debt is actually one of the best gifts you can give yourself, because debt repayment isn't just about fixing your finances, it's about reclaiming your life. Paying off your debt relieves stress, reduces anxiety and depression, and gives you peace of mind. It boosts your confidence, strengthens your relationships, and opens the door to chase your real-life goals. Now, the question is, if repaying your debt has such undeniable benefits, why do most people fail so terribly at it? Well, some people can't pay off their debts because they face constant financial instability, meaning they don't have enough consistent income to cover basic needs like housing, food, transportation, and childcare, which makes every month feel like a battle just to survive, so let alone paying off their debt. But then there are others who do have a steady income and still struggle to pay off their debts because either they spend all their extra money on unnecessary purchases or they feel overwhelmed by sheer size of their debt and lose motivation, believing they'll never be able to climb out of it. And then there are those who simply don't know the proper methods to create an effective debt repayment plan. So if you're also struggling with these kind of problems, don't worry, because I'm not only going to show you proven methods to pay off your debt, but also provide you with resources to help you plan your debt repayment, making it easier to pay off. There are 3 most popular methods people use to pay off their debts: debt consolidation, debt avalanche, and debt snowball method. Starting with debt consolidation. In this method, you take out a big loan to pay off all your existing debts, such as credit cards, personal loans, and student debt. And once you do that, you're left with one big debt instead of multiple small ones. This method helps you restructure your debt, making it simpler to track. But the problem is, you may have to pay a higher interest rate on the new loan. Additionally, it may take a long time to pay off the debt, which can leave you feeling unmotivated and exhausted, leading you to stop making payments altogether. So this method is not recommended unless you have many small debts scattered around and the total amount does not exceed $5,000. Now, the next one is the debt avalanche method. It focuses on paying off your debts in order of highest to lowest interest rate regardless of the balance. This strategy is mathematically efficient because it slightly minimizes the total interest paid and can lead to a faster overall payoff. However, it requires a high level of discipline and commitment, as high interest rates may take longer to eliminate, making it harder to stay motivated. So while it's financially smart, it's not always emotionally satisfying. And since we know very well that debt is more of a behavioral challenge than a mathematical one, so this method may not be suitable for the majority. Now, the last one is the debt snowball method. It's a popular and psychologically effective debt repayment strategy that focuses on paying off debts from small smallest to largest balance regardless of interest rates. In fact, according to Harvard Business Review, this method is one of the most effective ways to get out of debt because it helps you build motivation through early wins and gives you a sense of progress and momentum. And as you eliminate smaller balances, the amount you're paying on them snowballs into larger payments for the next debts, accelerating the process. That's why it's called the snowball method. So this method is highly recommended if you want to get out of debt because it's simple, keeps you motivated, and requires the least amount of effort to follow. It only takes 4 easy steps to pay off your debt using this method. Step 1 is to list all your debts from smallest to largest balances regardless of the interest rate. To make this process even easier, I highly recommend using a spreadsheet like this one. It's easy to access from anywhere, super simple to update, and it helps you stay organized without the headache. All you need to do is just to enter the start date of your debt repayment journey, your monthly amount, and an initial payment if you want a head start. Then simply fill in all these details like the debt name, current balance, and interest rate. So let's say I have 4 debts. I'll just enter all the details. And as soon as I do that, the spreadsheet instantly comes up with a payment schedule showing exactly how long it will take you to be completely debt-free. And how this works is you make the minimum payments on all your debts except the smallest one. All your extra money every month goes towards knocking off that smallest debt, and when it's gone, you roll all that money into the next smallest debt and you keep repeating the process until all your debts are paid off. You'll also get a debt tracker where you just need to enter the date and the payment for that month, and you can see how much of your debt has been paid off till now. You can see your total balance, your remaining balance, and where you stand in your debt repayment journey. Now let me tell you, having a detailed plan like this to paying off your debts is very crucial because without a plan, debt can make you feel overwhelmed, anxious, depressed, and helpless. It can also undermine your confidence and steal your joy. But when you do have a plan, it feels like you are in control. You become the one in charge with a clear path forward. A plan gives you the confidence to move forward, the strength to keep pushing even when the road gets tough. So the link for this spreadsheet is in the description. You can go and check it out. But if you're not ready to buy it right now, no worries, because I have also provided a completely free debt tracker for you, which is simplified but super effective. You just have to enter your debt name, minimum payment, and interest rate. Once you do that, just drag these 2 columns down. When the balance turns negative, the cell will be automatically highlighted red. That's your signal that your debt is gone. So you can do the same things for every single debt. It basically tells you that how much time it's going to take you if you just pay the minimum amount for each debt. Now, if you want to increase the amount, just write it down here and drag it just like before. Now you'll be able to see that if you increase the amount, how faster will you be able to become debt free. You'll find the link to this free tracker in the description as well. And honestly, there's no wrong way to start. Whether you use a premium sheet, the free tracker, or even just a notebook and a pen, what matters is that you start. Take that first step today and your future self will thank you, because this will be the moment everything starts to change. Now there are a few things to keep in mind before and after paying off your debt. Before beginning your debt repayment journey, it's wise to first build a small emergency fund that could cover your 3 to 6 months of expenses. This financial cushion protects you from unexpected expenses like medical bills or job loss that could otherwise disrupt your progress. Without it, you risk pausing payments or falling deeper into debt. So having an emergency fund before you start paying off your debt is very crucial. Now, if you stick to your plan with steady commitment and just a bit of discipline, you'll find yourself becoming debt-free way sooner than you first anticipated. Once you've made that final debt payment, it's very common to feel a surge of excitement and freedom. But that newfound financial space can also bring new temptations. Many people, after becoming debt-free, unintentionally fall back into old spending patterns or take on new debt simply because they now have extra cash each month. To avoid this, it's important to be intentional with your freed up cash. A smart move is to redirect your former debt payments into a high-link savings account or your 401k. This not only helps you maintain financial discipline, but also shifts your focus from paying off debt to building long-term wealth. Now, many people get overenthusiastic when they start paying off their debt. They cut out every little expense like their morning coffee or evening snacks, trying to save every penny they could. But just after a month or two, they feel deprived and exhausted. Eventually, they give up and go back to overspending, often worse than before. So it's okay if it takes you a little longer to pay off your debt, but don't make this mistake of trying to save every penny. Stay focused, but allow room for joy and balance in your life, because sustainable progress is better than fast burnout. burnout. Another thing you might want to avoid in your debt repayment journey is falling into this all or nothing trap. Many people commit to things like a no spend month or a no spend year only to break that promise within a couple of days, just like a New Year's resolution, because keeping such a commitment is way harder than it seems. So if you want to commit to something like that, then start small. Begin with a no spend evening or no spend day. This way you'll build your discipline gradually and will have a much better chance of succeeding.